We begin with a study in contrast. Here are Presidents George W. Bush and President Barack Obama when confronted by public opposition to their policies.
Democracy is a beautiful thing, and that people are allowed to express their opinion. I welcome people's right to say what they believe.
I've listened to you. I heard you. I heard you. I heard you. All right? Now, I've been respectful. I'll let you holler. All right? So let me nobody's removing you. I've heard you, but you've got to listen to me too.
Believe me, no president likes to see the public turn out in large numbers against them and their agenda. But when it does happen, as you saw there, every one of them understands that it is the people's right to exercise free speech and to criticize their elected leaders at the top of their lungs. And that very thing is what makes America great. That is what makes America America. It's what makes us special all around the world. Until right now. Donald Trump showed the world what he thinks of the American people by literally broadcasting an image of himself pouring feces all over America and the American people. The No Kings protests clearly getting deep under Donald Trump's skin over the weekend. But more importantly, the protests show the contours of a new opposition in America, one led by the people. According to the organizers, 7 million people came out to protest Donald Trump on Saturday. More than 100,000 people marched in New York City. In Chicago, the march at one point stretched 22 blocks. But the protests were hardly confined to big cities in blue states. Here's what the No Kings protests look like in Anchorage, Alaska. Thousands of people taking to the streets. And the protests included people protesting from all walks of life. Here's what a U.S. Army veteran told a reporter at a protest in Oklahoma City.
I was willing to die and lost a leg in a foreign country fighting for their rights. There's no way I'm bending the only knee I have left for a king here in America. I can't sit idly by why rights are trampled on and ignored, and people are pushed and treated like second-class citizens.
Washington Post reports that efforts by Republicans in the last week to smear the protests ahead of the protests fell flat. Quote, Ezra Levin, co-founder of the liberal grassroots movement Indivisible, that has co-organized the No Kings rally, said that RSVPs had skyrocketed. He credited the increased interest in part to the Republicans' rhetoric about the rallies. Protesters told MSNBC in every city we covered that they felt an urgent need to stand up to the Trump administration.
They're not going to intimidate us with tyrant talk. We are out here to stand up for this democracy.
Do not cower to the fascism and the threats that are coming from D.C. That's what they want us to do, and they will only be successful in that if we remain silent.
I'm very much opposed to all of the policies of Donald Trump. I don't think we need a king. We definitely don't need a dictatorship, and it's time for him to go. I'm against everything that he says and does.
This is the most American thing that you can do. Protest and speak for what you believe in.
The people who come out here and fight and who want to resist, those are the people who make change. Those are the people who make history. And there are way more, like I said, there are way more of us than there are of them.
We have a constitution for a reason. It provides us inalienable rights that we have to adhere to. And in this country, we have no kings, period.
Millions of Americans rising up to protest Donald Trump is where we start today. Hunter Dunn is back. He's the spokesperson and national press coordinator for the 5051 movement, the organization behind the No Kings protest this weekend. Also joining us, chief political columnist, host of the podcast In Politic for Puck, MSNBC national affairs analyst John Heilman is back. And joining me at the table, Princeton University professor, MSNBC political analyst Eddie Glaude is here. Hunter, I start with you. You and John and I actually spoke around this time Friday ahead of the protest. Tell me what you saw. If anyone was I don't know where you had to be this weekend to miss them. They were literally in every town, in every corner, and coverage has been everywhere. But just give me a summary of what we saw in America over the weekend and tell me if it exceeded your expectations or projections.
Yeah, I was helping organize the protest in downtown Los Angeles, where we had, based on drone footage, well over 100,000 people gathered together and hundreds of thousands more around the county and around the state of California. We saw over 7 million people protest at over 2,700 events around the world in peaceful dissent against Trump's authoritarian power grab, against his regime, against the ICE deportations, against the rise of fascism in this country. And I'm just going to tell you this, I've never seen a coalition this big. We had libertarians and democratic socialists, not just at the same protest, but working together to make it happen. And that is a massive shift from where we have been as a country over the past couple decades.
Hunter, was there any footage that came in as the day went on from any corners or towns that surprised you?
Yeah, well, first off, I was surprised by where we kicked off. It wasn't actually in the U.S. It started in South Korea because their October 18th is earlier than ours. But I saw small protests around the country. So I grew up in Orange County, and an amazing place that I saw was Huntington Beach, California, which is an incredibly red area. I've seen straight up basically Nazi rallies there. So to see a No Kings protest, to see a large turnout of people left, right, and center against this regime, that is a massive shift in what we're saying. And we saw that in small towns around all 50 states, whether it's a red state or a blue state, a red state or a blue city, whether it's rural or urban. We saw a coalition that I don't think we've seen since World War II.
Hunter, we have some reporting here from the NYPD. They tweeted, quote, "The majority of the No Kings protests have been dispersed at this time. All traffic closures have been lifted. We had more than 100,000 people."
New York. In a resounding display of democratic defiance, an estimated 7 million Americans took to the streets in over 2,700 events worldwide on October 18th for the No Kings protests, rejecting President Donald Trump's authoritarian overreach with chants, signs, and unyielding resolve. From New York City's 100,000-strong march to Chicago's 22-block procession and smaller town gatherings in places like Huntington Beach, California, and Anchorage, Alaska, participants, Democrats, Republicans, independents, veterans, and families, united under a simple banner: America belongs to its people, not to kings. The coalition, spanning the 50 over 51 movement and Indivisible, emphasized nonviolence and de-escalation, drawing parallels to Vietnam-era activism that toppled a war machine through persistent, joyful dissent. Organizers hailed the turnout as the largest peaceful protest in U.S. history, surpassing June's Flag Day rallies that drew 5 million. A coalition this big, libertarians and democratic socialists working together, said Hunter Dunn, national press coordinator for 50 over 51, from Los Angeles, where over 100,000 gathered. It's a massive shift from the past decades. Dunn noted surprises like Huntington Beach, a Republican stronghold hosting Nazi rallies, turning out en masse. A red area, now a large turnout against this regime. Former Representative Joe Walsh, Republican Illinois, addressing Hartford, Connecticut, urged loud, proud, joyous participation. What scares Trump is mammoth peaceful protest, Walsh said, predicting broader diversity. Republicans and conservatives coming out after witnessing indictments, raids, and guard federalizations. We're united in defending democracy. The New York Police Department confirmed more than 100,000 peacefully exercising their First Amendment rights. 0 protest-related arrests. Similar reports came from Austin, San Diego, Charlotte, and Portland, Oregon. The rallies countered GOP smears. House Speaker Mike Johnson blamed Democrats for holding the shutdown hostage until the Hate America rally, tying it to pro-Hamas and Antifa plots. Senator Roger Marshall warned of Soros-paid agitators needing National Guard. Representative Steve Scalise called it the terrorist wing. Fox hosts alleged hate for America. Organizers laughed. After moments of laughter, we'll see everyone on October 18th. The coalition reaffirmed nonviolence, crediting the rhetoric for swelling crowds. Trump's response was a low, an AI-generated image of him dumping feces on America via aircraft, shared on Truth Social. Dunn quipped, "I don't know what was worse, or him detonating a shell over the I-5. The post surprised no one, given GOP lies. Democrats ending shutdown post-protest false, violent mobs not, paid agitators no. The only thing Trump said that wasn't a lie, Dunn added, was detonating a shell. The demonstrations protest Trump's tactics. DOJ indictments of critics like James Comey and Letitia James by loyalist Lindsey Halligan, despite resistance. ICE raids beating reporters like Debbie Browning-Brockman and zip-tying children. National Guard federalizations blocked in Chicago judge. Political opposition is not rebellion. A 282 former DOJ official's letter decries a Nixon-level assault. Shut down brinkmanship. Johnson demanding a clean bill sans ACA subsidies, risks 75% premium hikes for $21 million. Hakeem Jeffries blamed GOP sabotage. Chuck Schumer decried Johnson's absence. Walsh predicted bigger, more diverse crowds. More politically diverse, because what unites us is no kings. Dunn highlighted global kickoff in South Korea and small-town shifts. A red state or blue city, rural or urban, a coalition we haven't seen since World War II. As midterms days away, No Kings channels yippee irreverence and flower child defiance, proving dissent's power endures. Trump's man-baby smears meet a nation united, rising against kings. Peaceful, proud, unbreakable.